Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Steve, just explain
Well,
why we're here.
we have a prepared statement that's going to answer a lot of questions. So I want to thank you to everyone here from the media that's come to join us today. The City of Calgary has overstepped its authority by using the park permit system to deny selectively the freedom to assemble as a public gathering and the exercise of free speech. The City of Calgary is in violation of the Canadian Charter. Section 2, under fundamental freedoms. The constitutional freedom to peacefully assemble, freedom of expression, and freedom of association. On June 5th, 2017, the City of Calgary issued a permit for the June 24th Say No to Hate and Racism Festival at Rotary Park right here. This festival is a peaceful, inclusive family event focused on raising awareness about hate and racism and unity around that awareness. On June 19th, 2017, 5 days before the start of the festival, the City of Calgary revoked the permit, citing that the event is Islamophobic and anti-Muslim. The city ignored our evidence, refuting the claim. In addition, the decision to revoke the permit came in part from the City Council. And the city has been trying to further sabotage the event by encouraging guest speakers to not attend. Further, even if the festival was so-called Islamophobic or anti-Muslim, as long as it is within the bounds of the law, the city does not have the right to censor free speech or deny the right to assemble peacefully in a public gathering like Rotary Park, or judge groups based upon association. The Say No to Hate and Racism Festival was comprised of a diverse range of speakers, including a Muslim political speaker and a number of diverse religious speakers. In addition, the festival was comprised of live music and a non-perishable food drive for the homeless, and face painting and bouncing council for the children so they could come and play. The mayor and all the councillors were invited to this festival, including student groups from the University of Calgary, including a Muslim student group and an Iranian student group. The purpose of the festival was to create unity through dialogue. Instead, the City of Calgary violated our charter rights and the opportunity to create unity. I hope that explains the gist of what's happening and why we're upset. This particular festival, the WCA is not part of it. We, early in the stages, we tried to work with that group because we work with groups on the right and left as a federal political party. And, you know, people are people, and we need to listen to different Canadians, their perspective. So we were trying to work with them because both groups do not support Sharia. We don't think it has any place in Canada. So that was the only uniting force for us. But we reached a juncture where our values conflicted. So there was a sever. So this particular event, as we made clear to the City of Calgary, had nothing to do with the WCAI. Their actual original permit was denied. And then Colbert was the permit holder for this event. And we want an inclusive, diverse event. We want dialogue from different ethnic groups, religious backgrounds, to help promote unity.
So what do you think is the root cause of the city denying the permit?
I can't say that because none of them are standing up and being accountable. Like the letter we got, which we will post on Monday, there's no name attached to it. But we were told, as Colbert was told, that the City Council was politically influencing these decisions. And we heard that the police were as well, which is troubling. Because this is about our charter rights. If you look at Section 2, it's very clear that we have a right to assemble peacefully. We have a right of free association. And if we want to associate on some level with WCAI, like whether to learn more about Islam, that's our right. and we shouldn't be denied our right to gather peacefully and to have free speech.
But what did it say when they denied your permit? Was there a statement that said why?
The statement was they believed that our event was Islamophobic and anti-Muslim, and that was completely false. We actually had Muslim speakers, we had Muslim student groups invited, we invited the Muslim mayor, and we had people from all different backgrounds, and that's what we were encouraging. We actually had a Canadian Nigerian pastor who will be speaking at our event later today. We had Coptic Christian religious leaders speaking, and that, so it was very diverse. So I don't know what their decision making is, but they're violating our rights, and we provided all the evidence to them to change this decision. But for some reason they weren't open. They didn't care about what we were saying.
That's right. I think it's more of a perception about the political party, because it's a federal party and he talks very vocally on M103, for example. That doesn't make a party or a person or a group anti-Muslim, so to speak. We are all immigrants here, and Stephen Garvey has been working with Muslim groups as well. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a little discussion on a federal level, which needs to happen, which is within the democratic rights of all people, especially the political parties. So the city is perceiving us as anti-Muslim just because we are vocal about a few things. Especially Stephen Garvey has been very active in things of that sort, and that's all it is. And it doesn't make us, Stephen.
Yeah, I think the deeper root here, there's a political correctness culture going on, and there's fear to offend. But we can't sacrifice that for our freedoms, and this is what's happening today. We would have had a beautiful festival with live music, kids running around playing. We would have had great speeches that were promoting unity, but zero racism, zero anything like that. That would have been banned from the event, right? And that's what we need in this country. We can't give up our freedoms. So we're very disappointed with the city, and we want Canadians to know what's going on. And as far as we're concerned, this is a microcosm of what's happening across our country. Our freedoms are being eroded. And when our party's against M103, it has nothing to do with Muslims. It's all about our freedoms and the potential that they could be eroded. It could have been any other group that was behind M103. It doesn't matter, right? So, but the city has overstepped its bounds. It has violated the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That's it. They violated on 3 counts. The freedom to associate. Whether we want to associate with any nonprofit group, that's our right as Westerners, as Canadians. And that should not be looked down upon. That's freedom of association, as long as no laws are being broken. Another one, freedom of expression, to come here and express ourselves publicly in a public park in which we pay taxes for. And
So just so there's 2 things going down here. One, that you're being condemned for who you associate with.
yes, we
and
are.
For
Yes, we are.
what protests you didn't have. The political followers.
Well, I did a protest against M103. We sang the national anthem. We had lots of women. There was people of different ethnic. We actually had a Chinese speaker that day, and it was painted as anti-immigrant. It's just a false narrative, and I encourage the media to be honest with the discourse, because it's promoting hate and division in our country. It's not helping. That was a patriotic event. That was about our freedoms. It had nothing to do with anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, anything. And that's something we don't support. We support all Canadians, right? But our freedoms are sacred in this country, and we encourage Canadians to get informed and fight for your freedoms, because you're going to lose them.
Do you regret them having any connection with the coalition, the worldwide coalition against Islam?
No, in some sense, I think they're serving a purpose. In the sense they're informing people about Islam, and we believe people need to be informed about it. But we felt they were going too far, so that's why there was a sever. So for the last week, we've been getting attacked by them. If you look on social media, which is fine, because that's not what we stand for. We don't support Sharia, and I think almost all Canadians agree with us on that point. And we can see what's going on in Europe, and the constant terrorist attacks. So we are concerned about it. Many Canadians are concerned about it. It doesn't mean we're anti-Muslim, but we don't support Sharia. That's just common sense. We don't want it ever in our country. It oppresses women. It oppresses homosexuals. It oppresses people who don't don't believe in the doctrine of Islam. It's well documented what Sharia is all about, and it's all on the internet. You can just look at what's going on in Saudi Arabia, Iran, Pakistan, Somalia, other countries in where this is taking place, right? So that's our basic position, and we're honest about it. I'll be very clear. We believe Sharia Islam is a hateful, oppressive ideology that has no place in Canada. That's our view. Are we against Muslims? No. But we don't believe radical extremism has any place in our country. It's against the security, well-being of our people. We're peace-loving people. We don't need the extremism here. And this would have been a beautiful event to showcase those views. And like I said, it's unfortunate. Some media is spinning misinformation and I would argue inciting some hate because of the narratives. They're just not accurate. And I encourage the media to be honest about this. And we can improve our country. We can have a beautiful country. Right now, it's very divided, and it's not helping anyone. So we want peace, but we want our freedoms. We want people to respect our liberties, our civil rights, our women in our society, the homosexuals in our society. Their right to believe what they want. There's no room for radical extremism. And what we're seeing is there's some extremists on the right, and then there's some extremists on the left. And unfortunately, we think they have an interest in promoting hate. We're in the middle now. The National Advancement Party is in the middle. We're getting attacked by extremists on the left, and we're getting attacked from some extremists on the right. But I want to qualify that. There's some good people, activists on the left, and there's some good activists on the right too. It's just a handful on each side that's feeding into this. And we need to rise above that and not play into that divisive, hateful rhetoric. But we're very disappointed with the city. Like, how could we not be?
And it was supposed to be
held today. That's the reason we did the press conference here. It was supposed to be in this beautiful park. It would have been a fun event, a very informative dialogue, peaceful event, and with opportunity for kids to play, barbecue, live music, and a very diverse of people. And the city denied us that right.
sponsored by the National Advancement Party?
We were one of the co-sponsors of it and the Foundation for Democratic Advancement.
And just so you know, M103
We are a
violates
registered federal party. Yes.
M103 violates a blasphemy law that Canada already has. So it has no force and effect, and shouldn't even be
We're
considered.
based out of Calgary, but we have members across the country. But you know,
When did you start?
we started 3 years ago. And I'm leader and founder of the party. But we're not afraid to admit, like we were working with that group on some level, but that's our right.
Did they approach you, or?
We knew the work they were doing, and we, our policies are quite strong in that area. So we were interested in learning more, and we talked to the police yesterday because we want public safety, and we told the police that we were trying to direct that group in a positive way, right? That we were almost doing the same thing as the police. We want people, because we think the core of their message is good, but
Garvey, you said, I am a proud nationalist and I happen to be white.
Excuse me.
My people and country come first. Don't you think that sounds a bit racist?
You're taking it out of context. Thank you.
What is out of context
You're
about
taking-
saying my people and my country come first?
They do.
I believe.
You're white people? Because that's what this post implies.
No, it doesn't. It means that we should stand up for our country. We should be proud of our country. We should stand up for our liberties, our civil rights,
Islam is
regardless
not
of
a
what
race, it's an
ethnic background you are. If we don't stand up for our country, no one else will. So that's that message.
That's what we do.
And we better go. We better go. Well, you heard my message.
Thank you.
We better go.